Join me today as I talk about Day 3 and Day 4 of GenCon 2026. This is the Geek Cabal channel. If you've not been here before, my name is Bobbie, and today we're going to talk about Day 3 and Day 4 of GenCon 2026. The show is over. I'm back home. This is the Monday after that I'm recording this. If I get it edited, hopefully it'll be up tonight. And maybe Tuesday. But, yeah. So, I've already recorded a video Saturday, well, I guess technically Sunday morning, for Day 3. And talk about a little bit in the video, I believe, why it was as late as it was. It's going to be, that part's going to be next, once I'm done talking here. This is just kind of the intro. And then it will be back to me here to cover Day 4, because I did not record a video for Day 4, because you have to check out the hotel before you go to Day 4. So, anyway, the Day 3 video, it was very late, or I guess technically super early, when I recorded it. And once I signed off at the end, there's literally about 10 minutes of just me there's passing out, sleeping. Obviously, that's going to be edited out. But, yeah, I was quite tired. There was no possible way I was going to edit that video and get it up Sunday. So, sorry. But anyway, we're going to combine the two. Didn't get a whole lot of stuff for Sunday, so if you're looking for a big haul video, it's not going to be happening. Did get some stuff Saturday. Saturday, however, was very exciting. So, we're going to be talking about that. But, yeah, and before I finish all this here, I am probably going to do like a big wrap-up, big overall thoughts, and might do a separate haul video or just lay everything out all at once. I think I'm going to do that. But, yeah. So, anyway, let's get into what I already recorded for Day 3. And today we're talking about GenCon 2026, Day 3. So, as you can see, the loot pile is a lot smaller. That's fine. This is the afterthought for today. Today saw some excitement, adventure, action even. So, to start the day off, we parked across the street from the mall. Well, it is across the street from the mall, but the mall parking garage, because it's connected, it was $50. But that's fine, because it was pissing and pouring out, and I had no interest in walking 3 blocks in that. That was worth the premium. So, good thing I saved money the last 2 days parking a cheap spot. So, the day started off like that. We actually grabbed breakfast this morning at Burger King and Starbucks. The drive-in was pretty uneventful, actually. It's pretty straightforward. It's really only like the last couple blocks once we were downtown that it kind of slowed down. And even then, it didn't slow down a whole lot. It seemed like traffic was either better handled or just wasn't as much of it or something. And hopefully we'll have something like that tomorrow too. Levi and I both got food at a Venezuelan food truck. I took pictures of it this time. I don't have the name listed, sorry. That's pretty good. I got some empanadas. Levi got corn dogs. The empanadas were good, kind of hot. Had their contents stamped on them in color, which I sincerely hope was edible dye. But came with like a garlic sauce of some kind. That was pretty good. Then it was starting to rain, so we went inside Lucas Oil to eat in there. And then went downstairs and took the tunnel back so we wouldn't get soaked. Did a few things in the dealer's hall, bought some stuff. I'll get to that here in a minute after story time. Then Levi bought a few things, also did a demo for a game, and he says pretty good. And what was the name of that game? What you did the demo for?
Rush of Icor.
Rush of Icor? I-K-K-O-R?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a card game. He got a free starter set of it, so it's a pretty fun game. Then, let's see. Bought a few things, which again I'll get to. He bought a few things, got some t-shirts and some other stuff. Then it was time for the costume contest. So we went there at probably about 1:15, I think. And got in there, got seated really easily because they'd already seated most of the people in line. So we just had to scan our badges and go in. And we actually got some pretty good seats. I think I finally figured out a way to defeat their whole Oh, we've got more people. Would everyone please move to the left? Well, this year they asked everyone to move to the front. That was different. We found a row of 4 seats. We took 2 of them. So there was only so far we were going to move. Then 2 people took the other seats. So we were safe. Got some pictures and some video of that. So that'll go in my wrap-up video where I'm going to put some actual pictures and footage and everything because I'll be able to better edit. Because I'm having to use my laptop and it's kind of cooperating. Then, yeah, so at approximately 5:15, 5:30, somewhere in there, the Indianapolis downtown area was put under a tornado warning. So we were told to basically shelter in place, which in our case was an interior ballroom, so we were fine, no windows or anything, and there's no basement to speak of that I'm aware of. So, yeah, that's where we were. So they just soldiered on, just kept the contest going. It was interrupted approximately every minute, minute and a half with a warning over the intercom system telling everyone to seek shelter. Just kept moving. I've got that. I recorded that too, by the way, so that'll be in the other video. Keep an eye out for that. If you go to the Fans of GenCon Facebook group, there's a lot of pictures because I guess the ceiling isn't very well waterproofed, so it began raining indoors as well in several places, namely the gaming hall. Also somewhere there in the Sagamore Ballroom, I believe. Not the Sagamore, the 500 Ballroom, because I definitely heard water in there at some point, and they said something about it. So, yeah. Also, apparently, one of the rooms, so there might actually be a basement, one of the rooms that they're like, hey, this is where people need to go to be safe from the potential tornado. There's like a video of just a geyser of water just erupting in the middle of the room, flooding everything. So you have rain from above, water from below, like, I don't know what you're supposed to do there. Perhaps in the words of the doc from Return of the Living Dead 2, when confronted with the army in the front and zombies in the back, might just be time to slip over to the side and grab a cocktail. But they're not allowed drinking indoors there, so I don't know. During that convention, anyway. I've definitely seen alcohol served there at other conventions. But, so yeah. So that's pretty eventful. It was nice leaving the costume contest to go use the bathroom. Meeting a gentleman who had just had to walk like 3 or 4 blocks in the rain, was completely soaked, and I was like, that parking garage next door, that was a good call. Feel sorry for this guy. And then right as I'm about to walk back in, everyone's phones start going off with the weather warning, like in sync. It's pretty impressive. Yeah, so we had to deal with that. Just before the contest was over, the warning was over, and I felt really bad for 2 of the groups because they just kept getting interrupted. And one of them was what looked to be a pretty genius way to do the entire Princess Bride movie in a matter of minutes. And I'm just it's really terrible that like it kept getting interrupted because I thought it was a really cool concept. Yeah, like I said, I've got a few pictures and video from that too to see what I can. I think my video there's no music playing, so it should be all right. Then Levi and I were faced with a decision. Do we A, stay to witness the destruction of Card Hala via spare change, or also if we were to do that, we would also go to the drone show that's supposed to have happened, I think. Based on the way I'm telling you this, you can probably figure out we didn't take that choice. Or go to a concert. We went to the concert. It was the Cybertronic Spree, which you can look them up. I'll try to remember to put a link down in the description, but you know, I'm not very good at keeping those promises, so sorry. They are a Transformers themed band. It's kind of like the same concept behind Gwar, except they're dressed up like Transformers and not whatever the hell Gwar is supposed to be dressed up as. And no, like, spraying the crowd with blood. So, yeah. Pretty impressive. The lead singer can definitely sing. And, you know, it's the whole theme to the whole thing. And a lot of it is from the 1986 animated movie. Which, they're in their show, like, well, time to head back to 1986. Like, nothing bad ever happened in 1986. Everyone in the crowd is like, you sure about that? Pretty sure it's when Optimus Prime died. But, yeah. So the concert was pretty good. There was like an hour and a half of pre-show with, was it Bathtub from the Future? Shower from the Future? Something like that? Bathtub from the Future. Levi's sitting over here, his wife, so I'm looking over asking questions. And then Spaceman Bob, with our journey through space. Although we were definitely robbed of at least one planet. And then Yeah, that was the Cybertronic Spree. And they performed most of the music from the original movie. The opening theme, the very first song, I think was a cover of a song from Tron 2, I think. And then it was, which segued into the opening theme from the Transformers animated movie. And before it was over, we also got The Touch, Instruments of Destruction, Dare to Be Stupid. There's another one from the soundtrack that I'm forgetting. We got all those. And then a number of other songs they were covering, like the Immigrant Song, the Power Rangers theme song from the original series, then the Madonna song, Like a Prayer. I think War Pigs was in there. There was something else. But anyway, it's a pretty good show. Like I said, the lead singer definitely could sing, and Hot Rod's decent at singing. And then the others are all pretty good on instruments. And then we got a call in from the Quintessons and Shockwave and Starscream. But yeah, it was pretty entertaining. It was at not a bar, or at least it isn't always a bar because it's open to all ages. But they had to tell me where Levi could and could not go because of the bar restrictions. It was Hi-Fi here in Indianapolis, what it was called. And during the concert, the lead singer noted that it was GenCon, and an informal poll told her that most of the crowd is also going to GenCon, which Levi and I also figured out whenever we ran into several con-goers at the noodle and boba tea place that we went to. What's the name of that? Harmony, which is like a block away from where the concert was. It was pretty good. I got a seafood udon bowl and added shrimp to it. It's pretty good. Levi thinks I didn't go wild enough with my tea since I just got sweet tea. But yeah, of course we parked on the street. That was an interesting, trying to find a parking spot. But the venue was interesting. There was merchandise afterwards, but it was a pretty good line. I might order a shirt later on though, because I know they sell their merchandise online too. But yeah, the two opening acts I thought were good also. Not as good as the Cybertronic Spree, but the other two were entertaining. I wish I could have understood more words from the first one, and that I think is just the sound, the way it was set up in the enclosed space and everything. I understood a lot more from Spaceman Bob. And yeah. So yeah, Cybertronic Spree, definitely worth the look. Oh, and that's the whole GenCon thing. They talked about kind of informal poll of the crowd, like maybe we should make this an annual thing. So, because apparently they played at this particular place 2 other times, and they seem to like it. You know, I mean, at least it's what they say. You know, they're entertainers, of course. They're not going to be like, oh, this place fucking sucks. You know, this place is awesome. Are you kidding me? So yeah. So yeah, that's hopefully they do. Hopefully they're in a slightly bigger venue. If they're not, I'm definitely going to buy the tickets way in advance so I can get seats. Because standing for 4 hours, you know, like in place, like it's one thing to walk around the dealer's hall for 4 hours in a carpeted room with better air conditioning. Thankfully it wasn't as hot. But yeah, I think they're going to be in Chicago tomorrow night. So tomorrow as I'm recording this, but today as this goes up, assuming I get this up Sunday morning. So yeah, eventful day. And then I got some stuff. So let's show you the stuff. Chad asked me to pick up a set of the GenCon dice. So this is the Crystal Cast set of dice for this year. Same color scheme as the D6, but it's the whole set. Although it only comes with the one D6. They want you to use the coupon to get the free one, otherwise you got to pay $2 for it. Got myself another GenCon D6 because I actually like the color scheme. If I didn't have a bunch of sets, I consider buying this set. This is a Pathfinder Goblin that I got from buying something at some guy's booth. I don't know. Also gave me a coin. Apparently it's good for like 10% off something tomorrow. I don't know. Probably just going to keep the coin. Can't quite read what it says on there. Then I got a Fungus Forest 18 tile set from Pathfinder. Remember what I said. This is a Fungus Forest. Fungi being mushrooms, etc. We've taken a lichen to it, L-I-C-H-E-N. Pathfinder trying to make bad puns here on their maps. It's the only decent map pack I've found. There basically were none at the Paizo booth, and I've only seen 2 kind of scattered around the con. So, however, I did buy the Little Book of Battle Mats, which you can probably guess if it's this size, this wide. Now imagine one other panel over here that's as big as the maps are going to get. But no, I thought there might be a use at some point to just having really tiny maps for something. So at that same booth, I also bought a set of dungeon maps. Hopefully you can see them there. The maps seem to be decent quality. The artwork's decent. It's 1-inch square grid, so I can always combine the maps with it. But yeah, looking pretty good. And then I picked up, they were handing out free Dungeon Crawl Classics Quick Start rules. Pretty sure I've got these. I know I definitely got the full rule book, but I'm pretty sure I already got these. But just in case, I mean, they were free, so maybe I can convince the other players at some point to try that game. But yeah, I think that's all I picked up today. So it's more about the eventful weather than the concert, but yeah, I think that's it. So tomorrow will be the short day because it's Sunday. Everything is done at 4 o'clock, and yeah. I did buy a couple shirts. I'm not going to drag them out because I need to get everything packed up. But yeah, like I say, tomorrow's Sunday, so it'll be the last day. See if there's anything I haven't bought yet that I really need to. I don't think that's the case. Might buy some shrapnel issues from Catalyst, although I don't know if I need extra issues right now. But you know, if I do buy them, I'm not even going to buy any Battletech books for a very long time. It's not going to stop me from buying them. I just don't need to buy them because I've got several I need to read through. So then Dungeon Crawl Classics, their coupon is 50% off 1 book. I think I might pick up another rule book in case I need to spread them around. If not, I'll look at the other books, which will get me an entry into the raffle, assuming they still have it. But yeah, that's really the only 2 things I'm even kind of concerned tomorrow. So maybe look around for more dungeon tiles, but I don't think I'm going to find them. But yeah. So hopefully this was informative to you folks. Like I said, the haul is not quite what it was. You know, it's not quite what it has been here today, and tomorrow will probably be even less. So don't expect to see a giant mountain of stuff unless I come across one hell of a deal. You never know. So anyway, that is all I've got. All right. Well, hopefully you could see everything clearly there in the video. Wasn't the greatest lighting there in the room. I am probably going to have to invest in some lights. So anyway, let's talk about day 4, Sunday, the short day. So if you've not seen the other videos or you've never been to GenCon, Sunday is the last day, and excuse me, shouldn't have eaten cashews before I tried to record. Sunday's the last day, and everything shuts down at 4 o'clock. That is all right, folks. You don't have to stay. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here a moment. In fact, that was even when the various restaurants in the 2 food courts were shutting down, and I was one person too late to try to get a drink. So yeah, that I thought was a bit extreme. But no, everything shuts down at 4 o'clock. Now, I've explained this in other videos, but if you've never been, once the events start at 10 a.m. on Thursday morning of the first of the Thursday there of GenCon, the convention center is open from that point until whenever the building actually closes on Sunday. But as far as GenCon stuff is concerned, until 4 o'clock Sunday afternoon. Now, the building itself is still open, but you know, the dealer's hall is emptying out. Everyone's got to leave. If you're not doing anything in the gaming hall, as far as like actually packing stuff up, they want you out of there too. So from Thursday 10 a.m. to that point Sunday, the dealer's hall is open the entire time. So there are events happening until like I think the scheduled events kind of cut off around 2 a.m. Although the program book, I'll have to check the one for this year. Check that out. The program book used to have events running 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. You know, it's usually like anime stuff, like watching anime somewhere. And then in the hallways, they have werewolf and games like that going on. Now, I wasn't down there late any day this year, so I didn't get any pictures or video of that, and didn't get to show Levi because, as I discussed in the previous segment, we went to a concert Saturday night, which is why I was incredibly tired trying to record that video and passed out as soon as I was done recording it. and also why I've been really tired today, because I still haven't got caught up on my sleep yet. So, the concert was spectacular, by the way. If you ever have the chance to go see the Cybertronic Spree and you're even remotely a Transformers fan, like, it is worth your time. And as I believe I said this in the other segment, but they're talking about making that an annual thing to be in Indianapolis during GenCon. So hopefully a slightly bigger venue. Nothing against that venue, but I'd like, you know, a little bit bigger stage and stuff, and someplace to sit. So anyway, on to Sunday. We got down there before the doors opened, like before the dealer's hall opened. We got there about 9:30. So we did some more demos for the Overpower. I'm on the border on that one. I did get some more cards. I don't have those. I apologize. And I talked to Jesse, who, like I said, is someone I know. His brother, his brother was in Chris and I's grade in school, so he is one of the people, getting the game alive again. And they had some nice play mats that really help keep the flow of the game, like, so you know what's what. And if I'm gonna go into this at all, I'm definitely gonna get one of those play mats. He said they're gonna be available soon. They had two of them there. One had Invincible, the character Invincible, on there. The other was for The Walking Dead, and they said the Walking Dead ones were they only made them for the convention, so they're not for sale anywhere. I don't mean they made them to give away. Like, that's it. That's where they are. So if those ever become available, maybe. I did actually prefer the art on Invincible, but the other one looks cool too. So yeah. So I might jump back into that. I don't know. It's a huge money sink. I really don't want to. But I do already have like 6 card boxes full of cards for it. So, I'll be decently competitive, like, right out of the gate. We talked about what people do in some of the tournaments. And yeah, anyway. So we did that. Levi and I also did a demo of that. And then we went to the dealer's hall, did some wheeling and dealing. Levi tried to get in on a demo for Horrified. They didn't have one at the time. I had to go check on something for Chad. Then I got this book that you might remember from the Thursday video. I got this signed by Margaret Weiss. Fortunately, Tracy Hickman's not there on Sundays, and I think I knew that. So here's hoping that he's alive and well next year, and I'll get this signed. Plus, the rate these guys usually write books, they usually like boom, 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 so they will probably have a new book next year as well. So this will be going into the rotation soon, so, look for a review on this. Their books tend to read pretty quick, in my opinion. It's like this one's 340 pages. See if I can get some spoilers here. Anyway, so when I got this signed, though, I also got a map. So this is, let's see, yeah. So, and on the back, it's got War Wizard Volume 1, kind of the blurb. But the map here looks like it is the Empire of Solamnia. I really should ask. So it's got Palanthas, Vanguard Keep, some other things on here. Yeah, it's pretty nice little map. I'll definitely be putting this somewhere safe. And then I got a couple free comic books from the Knights of the Dinner Table. It's like issue 115 and 120. They had a person standing at the edge of at the two edges of their booth, and one was like, "Oh, I got a free comic." They started walking by the other one. "I've got a different free comic." It's like, all right, I'll take them both. But this is definitely an older issue, because I believe this ad is for GenCon 2006 on the back here. What it looks like anyway. Oh wait, this was for the SoCal GenCon. Yeah, that's the ill-fated GenCon California experiment. Yeah, this one's for 2006 for Origins back here on the back of it. So I'll read these. I kind of like the little comics I've read from them before. And then I stopped by another booth that had a game called Mazes. Now originally I thought this was just like some D&D spin-off thing, and thought maybe it was some maps or something. But I began to look at it, and it is a different game system entirely. This is like an introductory adventure here. The guy gave it to me, and I told him I'm going to check out the free rules and stuff. But it had a very interesting premise to it. Again, it's called Mazes. The idea is each player has one type of die that they roll. So like the wizard here has a D4. That's what they roll for everything. And then there's a chart that determines what happens. So like if it's something involving like a knowledge check, you need to roll a 2 or a 3. You know, if it's something involving running, you need to roll boots 3, 4, 5. You know, blades, so fighting 4, 5, 6, 7. Or bones involve strength 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, for those of you who are quick with math, you'll notice that last one, the lowest number that succeeds is a 5, and the wizard rolls a D4. So, probably not going to happen. Yeah, so there's some more intricacies to it, but that was the first interesting part. Yeah, so like I'll keep going here, like this guy here, this is the Monster Hunter. He's the D8. The Savage Bugbear, he's the D10. You know, and I'm sure that there's more, I have to assume. But the DM doesn't roll any dice. The DM keeps the narrative moving and will say, okay, the goblin is attacking you, and then the player has to roll to see if they defend from the attack. So all of the initiative as far as rolling is with the players. So the DM doesn't roll anything. And again, that sounded interesting, and the simplicity, at least the claim, was that it makes running like an entire dungeon possible in a single session. So speed is nice, while still maintaining a narrative to everything. It sounds like it'd be just a little bit more, it would potentially be more hack and slash, but the role-playing part is what you make of it, so, you know, you add that into it. So like I said, it sounded interesting. I'm going to try to read through what I got here and check out what they've got online, and maybe get some stuff, see what it looks like. But definitely going to be checking that out. So that's more or less all I picked up. You know, I didn't actually buy anything Sunday. No, I take that back. I did buy something, but it's irrelevant. And I bought food. So Levi and I ate hot box pizza, and he did try the lava luau, and his words like, this isn't spicy. This isn't spicy at all. I was like, okay. So he said the cheese for the dip for the breadsticks, the dipping cheese was spicier than the pizza. So yeah, maybe I should have tried it. But went back to Wild Bill's. They finally had the grape on Sunday that they didn't have before that, and they had removed the extra flavors that they had. And so I spoke to the guy about it, because Saturday was the tornado warning, and it just demolished a bunch of stuff, like the tents and things out there where the food trucks were. Apparently they left at like 4 o'clock, like about an hour before the storm actually hit. And then the storm went through and took out some of the tents. So I asked the guys, like, so did you remove the flavors because of the storm, or just didn't bring them back? Did you run out? He's like, no on both. I'm just kind of sitting there staring at him like, so, you know, like, what was the impetus to remove them then? And, yeah, I didn't really get an answer on that. So I think the guy might have been jerking me around on that one. But, you know, whatever. I got my money. I think I got my money's worth out of this time. But, yeah, so Sunday was not nearly as eventful as Saturday. Chris did a demo for something, the League of Legends card game, got a promo out of that. And, yeah, Levi did end up doing the Horrified demo. Wasn't what he thought it was going to be, so not going to be a purchase. And I went by the Catalyst booth, and I spoke with Randall Bills. I had to look up his picture, get his name, because I knew he was an employee, and I knew he was one of the writers. I don't know. The only person I can identify on site is Lauren Coleman. I got something to say about him here in a second, too. So the gentleman who, I think I talked about the tiles for Battletech that I talked to the gentleman on Thursday about, and I confirmed a couple things with Randall that I thought the guy said, but I want to make sure I understood it correctly. The guy had to leave because he had to get on a plane and get back across the Atlantic. So the tiles are made in Poland, is where they're making them. They already have a factory all set up making their current tiles, so it is sourced in Europe. It's not, to deal with Chinese New Year and turnover and, just China in general. So that is a thing. And yeah, so I confirmed that with Randall, and they're like, they're already doing other tiles. So the turnaround should be very, as short as something can be to be manufactured. It's not going to be 3 days later or something, but you're not going to have to wait to go back and forth with the proofing, to take a 16-hour plane ride to Beijing to go check out the factory. So it's all much closer, because I believe the company is based in England. So there to Poland is a significantly shorter trip. So, it's a lot easier to go back and forth with the factory and get everything correct, which will start the turnaround time a lot faster. So based on all that, I have a lot more confidence in the way the product sounds. We'll see as far as the Kickstarter, I like the idea, I've got to see the price. They are like HeroScape tiles, except HeroScape does have individual hexes, but also has like big like masses, like a big like random shape, like a hexagon of hexagons, or like a big like weird kind of jagged thing that you put two of them together kind of makes a square. They don't do that. All of theirs are single hexes. So they all, lock together, and, the guy demonstrated, picking them up. And I was going to go back and try to do an interview with him, but like I said, he was gone. So, yeah. So it looked like a good product. I just don't know if I'm that into it to go with it, but it looked like a good product. I did notice something in Ironwood Metals, and I meant to go back and ask them. By the way, the next couple things are all Battletech related. So whenever I bought the Raider mechs, which I think I bought those on Thursday, they had hexes in a thing up there, the hexes that you got to put the figures on, because the metal minis don't come on hex bases. To me, the hexes felt like they were a lot thinner metal. They didn't have that real weight that the old ones have, and I think that was definitely the case. Like whenever I kind of rifled through them, like they looked thinner, they felt thinner. So, that's a thing to think about. I don't know if those will begin to fill the 4-packs of them yet, like that. Also, the Catalyst booth had painted plastic hexes, and they were coming 4-packs, and it was like woodland terrain, street, dirt, but they were painted. So when you put the mech on them, and, if you want to do some basing and stuff, they look cool. They were plastic. They weren't very expensive, but I would only need them for the metal mechs because the plastic mechs are already on hexes. So. And I don't want to commit to like, well, I'm going to put this on greenery. Oh, you're fighting on the lava planet today. Well, damn. That's why I generally don't decorate the bases of my mechs anyway. That, and I don't really have the time. And then I spoke to Lauren Coleman for just a couple minutes. Everything's kind of winding down. He was kind of there. I want to tell him thank you for the articles that he wrote as far as the tariff situation, because they were very informative. And I told him that I was one of those people that thought things worked one way, and then after his explanation realized, like, no, I was way wrong. So by the way, if I never mentioned that in any other videos, like, I want to be clear, like, I was definitely mistaken in my early take on the tariff situation. So his articles are definitely worth reading. I'm pretty sure I linked to them somewhere. I don't know if I'm going to bother to link to them here. I probably will if I can find them. So, but definitely informative, and it's just an interesting, little conversation about that. Nice talking to him. So, but yeah, that's pretty much what happened on Sunday. And we left just a little bit after 4, like about 4:05, 4:10. We parked in the government parking garage, which is kind of between the convention center and the JW Marriott. You can't park there on Thursday and Friday because the government building downtown in the capital, because Indianapolis is the capital, is open. So that is the government parking garage. But on Saturday and Sunday, you can park there. And it was $20 for Sunday. So I'm thinking that, like, I've got to remember that's a thing next year and park there Saturday. Now, it's a little bit of a walk because you have to go through the Marriott, not the JW Marriott, but through the Marriott, and then across, and then you're in the parking garage. So it's a little bit of a walk, but you can do the whole thing indoors if there's inclement weather, or if it's hot, or you just don't want to deal with trying to cut across the traffic or whatever. And then getting out's pretty orderly because you pay whenever you go in, and so they just have to like confirm your stub to get out, and then you're out. There's some intricacies in getting out because you're pulling out into a two-way street. and we were in the where we kind of had to turn left, and like there were several lanes pulling because the garage is kind of divided in two. So a couple lanes going to one side, a couple going to the other, and they've got it barricaded so you can't cross over. So you're restricted to the half of the building that you're in. But yeah, I mean, $4 more versus the $16 one, and we are like a half a block from the convention center. Yeah, you know, it's worth the extra $4. So something to consider for next year, but depending on what hotel we're at and everything. But yeah, that's most of my thoughts on that. It did kind of rain off and on again Friday or Sunday while we're outside, so we ate inside Lucas Oil Stadium again. And Levi, while we were in there, as we were standing in line, they were yelling that they were out inside Lucas Oil Stadium. He wanted to get they had a dirty soda thing there, and they were telling people that they were out of hot dogs and brats and pretzels. And there was a large gentleman like kind of yells like, "We're out of hot dogs, we're out of brats, we're out of pretzels." Like a lady yelled at me yesterday saying she couldn't hear me, so I'm making sure did everyone hear me. There you go. So then Levi's next line, he goes up and he's like, "So can I get a hot dog, a brat, and a pretzel?" And the girl looks at him like, "Oh my God!" And he's like, "I'm just joking with you," and she was quite relieved. So I thought that was very funny. But yeah. That's pretty much it for Sunday. It's pretty uneventful. I mean, Sunday is usually uneventful. There's a lot of talk of the tornado the day before, the tornado warning the day before. I think I overheard some people saying that people already had shirts up on Etsy, the "I Survived the GenCon 2026 tornado." So I definitely expect to see those in the next month or two. Possibly some ribbons for next year. People already have some drafted up. There was no way to get them printed up in time for the show. I don't think. Someone I think might have actually had some. I did also see another interesting ribbon that I should have tried to go get. Should try to track the person down because it was humorous. It was the I took a shit at GenCon. I think it was the poop emoji on there, but you know, and yeah, pretty funny. I just wish there was an easier way to track things like that down, because people, they'll make a post, but it's on Facebook in the Facebook group, and then the posts are just kind of scattershot. That's one of the things I hate about Facebook. Just like I saw in the BattleTech Facebook group, a guy was like, "Hey, I got this box of minis for $8 a piece. That's down to these kind, but you can see in the picture that clearly it had other types in there before." And everyone's like, "Where are you, dude? Like, we'll hit you up." And never got a real answer. And the post was made within a few hours of GenCon shutting down. Like, if I could have found the guy, I'd have gone and bought some Max for $8. But yeah, things like that. It's like, if you talk about these things before the show and arrange things, like, all kinds of wonders are possible. So yeah, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. Make sure you join the Fans of GenCon Facebook group. Very informative. Even though I just got done complaining about Facebook. So yeah. That's pretty much it. Like I said, I'm going to try to do a total wrap up with my thoughts on everything video. That might be a few days a week, and probably get a haul video to show everything. But yeah, that is pretty much it. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Did you make it to the show? You're going to try to make it to the show? Did it look like a cool show? Wait for the other video. That's when I'll have the clips and footage and all that, because I got I got a number of little video clips and pictures and things like that. Got some things from the concert. So, yeah. Those will be in that video, because that's going to require a lot more editing, and got to splice a bunch of stuff in, and got to make sense of all my pictures, figure out what everything is. Probably a slideshow in there somewhere. But yeah, so like I said, let me know what you think down in the comments. Did you not go this year? You plan on going next year? Was it too crowded? Not crowded enough? God only knows why you think that, but who knows? Anything at all like that, let me know. Otherwise, like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Sharing and commenting help us grow the channel. Of course, subscriptions, it's the name of the game here on YouTube. And we'd like to thank everyone who's helped get us very close to 1,000 subscribers now. And we literally couldn't do it without you folks. So again, thank you very much. If there are topics that we are not presently covering, which you would like us to cover, that are adjacent to or in the line of the things we already talk about, let us know down in the comments, or message us or something. We'll see what we can do. We do have a Twitter account that are not super active on. We do have a Facebook page that we're a little bit more active on. And then Jim posts a bunch of video game stuff over on Twitter. So check us out there if you're interested. But yeah, that is pretty much it. And this is it for Gen Con 2026, except for the wrap-up videos I'm going to do. So, until next year, see you folks later.